Okay, welcome to the video. This time we're focusing on key stage 3. We're going to be looking at what on earth is convection. Okay, one of the key words to understanding convection is density. Okay, so density is a measurement that compares the amount of matter an object has to its volume. An object with much matter in a certain volume has a high density. Density is found by dividing the mass of an object by its volume. We'll touch on that a little bit later. Have you ever had a bath or a shower and you see you're waiting, you're just about going to dry yourself with a towel and you see hot air rising? Well, that's convection. Hot air rises because it's less dense. The particles move up and they move up taking more space. They become less dense. So imagine I've got this imaginary box, and in this imaginary box I have 5 particles. When I heat up this box, what's going to happen is the particles are going to get more energy and start moving around. Suddenly they're going to move so much, they've actually come out of the box. Okay? And it's a bit like that. That's what's happening when we give energy to particles. They start vibrating and they move up. On the other hand, have you ever opened a freezer and the cold air comes down? That's because it's more dense. Okay? Then the less dense air we see. You can see in a kettle, you can see when you make some tea. One fantastic way of understanding this is here. The hot air is drawn with these 2 lines here, showing that there has more energy. In that box I have almost 3 particles and in this only 1. Because hot air particles have got so much energy, they've sort of moved out. So it's important to understand that concept. Now, it's also important to understand that convection, when you heat a liquid or a gas, the particles, so it doesn't happen in solid because solid particles can't move. When you heat up a liquid, with solids it's more conduction. This is convection. So when you heat a liquid or a gas, the particles gain more energy and take up more room. This means that the liquid or gas is less dense than the surrounding liquid or gas. So it rises. Cooler liquid or gas has less energy, so take less room and descends. So okay, this is a fantastic way of showing convection. Take a box that looks like this. It's called a convection box. Light up a piece of paper, shake it off so it's not on fire anymore. Put it on top here and cold air goes down. When it goes to the candle, it heatens up or makes the air hotter and hot air rises. This is convection currents. This happens in our living rooms, believe it or not, and I'll tell you how. Let's say for example you've got a window here, and let's say for example you've got a radiator here. Cold air comes in from the window. When it reaches the radiator, it then heats it up and it goes up and goes around and goes down when it reaches the window as it cools and descends. So this sort of motion happens in hot air balloons. It happens in our living rooms. We're basically surrounded by convection currents. Cool air comes down. It's got less energy. It's more dense, whilst hot air rises and it's less dense. Okay, I wrote it down for you. When air is heated, it gains energy. This makes the particles vibrate more and get further apart. These hot particles are less dense than the others around it, and so the hot air rises. When the particles rise, cooler particles take their place. Eventually the hotter particles will lose energy and so will become more dense and start to fall. Convection currents are shown as a continuous cycle. For your task today, I would love it if you could apply this knowledge to hot air balloons, radiators, your house. That would be fantastic. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please like so you could do that example for me. I've even given you some answers, but I want you to do it. Thank you.